Yo, what up, gang? Welcome back to another video. Arie here, and today I wanted to discuss some brand new Facebook news that I just saw on CNBC. I thought, you know what? I'm gonna share this with the YouTube fam. I know y'all love when I update you on anything related to e-commerce, and Facebook is of course one of the best advertising platforms when it comes to your e-commerce business. So it's really essential for you to be up to date on everything Facebook related. Now, this article was recently published and it's brand new information that I didn't really know. So as you can see on the headline, it says Facebook will start letting users control more of what they see rather than forcing them to rely on algorithms. Now, I'm not exactly sure if this change goes into effect also on Instagram, since Facebook does own Instagram. We got Zuck right here, just looking all sus. But anyways, Facebook is introducing a feature that will make it easier for users to choose what content shows up in their newsfeed. The feature, called a feed filter bar, was announced Wednesday. Rather than just relying on Facebook's algorithms to determine what they see, users will now be able to toggle between viewing algorithmically ranked content, the most recent posts, and updates from their favorite friends and pages they follow. While Facebook already allows users to view their feed ranked by most recent posts or those created by top friends, those options are buried deep in the app and hard to find. The feed filter bar will make them readily apparent. The feature will roll out on Android users on Wednesday, and it will become available to iOS users in the next coming weeks. That's pretty vague, but I guess it's coming for iPhones as well. The new feature was announced in a 5,000-word essay published by Nick Clegg, Facebook Vice President of Global Affairs and Communications. The post was titled, "You and the Algorithm, It Takes Two to Tango." Wow. Facebook also plans to introduce more ways for users to understand why content is showing up in their feed. This includes a "Why am I seeing this?" feature, which is similar to a function that lets people see why they're being shown an ad. The company will also unveil more information hubs to show users authoritative information in more areas where there's a clear societal benefit, Clegg said. In 2020, Facebook introduced hubs to provide users with accurate information regarding COVID-19, the 2020 US elections, and climate change. Clegg said a racial justice hub is coming this year. So apparently this change is coming like right now. So this is something that is going into effect literally right now. And honestly, it doesn't seem like this means much for advertisers, but it does mean a lot for brands. If you're a brand that posts a lot of social media content. Now, it doesn't really state whether or not this is going to be implemented into Instagram. It sounds like it's just going to be a Facebook feature, but I could see them rolling this out on Instagram as well, as the Instagram algorithm is more relevant than the Facebook algorithm, I would say. I don't think a lot of people use Facebook anymore. I mean, of course, I'm probably wrong. A lot of people definitely do, but Instagram definitely takes the cake for most used social media. So let's just watch this video real quick that they posted. It's only 2 minutes, and we'll hopefully get a clearer picture of exactly what this change entails.
Apple is readying to roll out its new operating system, iOS 14, and as part of that will prompt users either to opt in or opt out of having their activity tracked. This is part of Apple's commitment to protect user privacy. Facebook's pushing back. It relies on that data to target consumers with relevant ads. So if people do opt out, here's what Facebook says could happen. Say a young man is looking for a new pair of sneakers on his phone. Facebook claims that with Apple's new rules, it won't be able to use his search history and information about what other apps he uses to show him ads for things he wants to buy. So on Facebook or Instagram, he could end up seeing ads for women's clothing or furniture. Facebook says non-personalized ads would be 60% less effective in driving sales than personalized ones. Apple says it's just standing up for its users. Facebook's solution is to show this prompt immediately before Apple's to convince consumers to stick with the ad targeting status quo. Facebook has thrived despite so many challenges, especially on the regulatory front, but it really has not held the company back. It's also been able to shrug off so many reputational issues, say around manipulation in the 2016 election. The question now is really how much this ends up limiting their ability to track consumers. Yes, they will be able to serve ads, and yes, they will have some data to use to make sure those ads are targeted, but it's still unclear whether people really will opt out or whether Facebook can give them their own prompt saying your experience on Facebook is going to be better if you opt in. So a lot still remains to be seen in terms of consumer behavior and whether people would trade a little bit of tracking and intrusion on their privacy in order to have a better experience on Facebook. Historically, Americans have not cared as much about their privacy and have not made changes to their behavior based on privacy concerns in the same way that people have in, say, other countries. A new survey out found that 73% of consumers either say they are very likely or somewhat likely to opt out of being tracked on their devices.
Okay, so this video was more so about the iOS 14 changes that Apple rolled out. I didn't know that Facebook put a similar opt-in menu at the homepage of their app. That's actually pretty funny and honestly not a bad solution. As they said, I think this change will definitely affect people more so in European countries and other countries where privacy concerns are a lot more relevant, even though in the US, we're at the same sort of risk of privacy invasion, but I guess people just don't care as much. I've been trying to focus more and more in the United States market anyways, and even though this feed news isn't super relevant to ads, I guess, it still brings up the conversation of whether or not it's fine to just continue to solely rely on Facebook ads or not. Personally speaking, I haven't seen any real significant effects of the iOS rollout on my ads. And I also run a private group called the Netsphere community, and a lot of the people in there have also not experienced many issues. Nothing out of the ordinary that you would expect, right? Like, of course, you get people here and there that talk about consistency and how their ads have been very inconsistent and stuff like that. But I've even tested recently running like a $25 a day CBO with 3 targeted interests that were relevant to my brand and let it run for a week as a test and got a 7 ROAS. So I think a lot of the inconsistencies for people, it just comes from not spending enough on Facebook. And if you don't have the budget to spend a lot on Facebook, then all you need to do is let your ads run for a longer period of time, and you should still get similar results even if they're inconsistent on a day-to-day basis. It should be consistent on a longer time frame. So that's something that I kind of wanted to mention. Maybe it'll help some of you guys out. But personally, I actually do like that they're allowing people to sort of take control of what they're seeing on their feeds, taking ads out of the conversation. I think this is a great move for brands to be able to get a little bit more organic reach, especially brands that have built really, really tight-knit communities. I've seen it so many times where people say, oh, my followers aren't seeing my posts. And that's, of course, due to the algorithm. The algorithm is for some reason not showing their posts to their followers. This should hopefully start fixing that slowly over time. Even if it's just rolled out on the Facebook platform, eventually it will get rolled out on Instagram, I'm sure, or at least something along these lines. And that will allow brands to actually be able to harbor a stronger community, since people will be able to choose to view their posts more often. So to me, this is all validation in terms of my plan to continue to try to build really tight-knit communities out of my brands. This year is a really crazy year so far, but people are buying more and more online. So the competition is becoming really, really rampant, and it's really important to continue to find ways to differentiate yourself. And to me, I think the best way to do that is to build your own community and really treat your brand like a family. But hey, that's just my personal philosophy, and we'll see how that plays out for me this year. But with that said, I would love to know your opinion on this. I know that this isn't super revolutionary, but I'm just really curious to know what you think about these changes, and if you think they're positive changes or negative changes. I would love to know in the comments. And with that said, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Peace.